2007.
We weren't on it in any case.
It was, yeah, it might have been for college students still.
2008 came out.
And it wasn't for a few years after that until it was for the general public. It was just college students for many years. I don't know if there's really anything else to comment on here. I hope you had a chance to look through it. And I hope it was clear too, which you can kind of tell by the color and the formatting, which were the old one and which were the new one.
I like that the response to the current library offerings meet all of your needs went down from 32 to 17.
And that's exactly what we were looking to document was, I mean, honestly, back in 2007, we were scrambling to provide basic service, let alone quality customer service. So we definitely wanted to see those improvements.
Is the one on the right on the current needs?
For the most part, left is old and right is new, but some of them are top and bottom.
Because just
Which one are
the
you on?
yes, does the current meet you, we were just talking about,
Okay.
does it meet your needs? So there was no response, was 14%. So it really, the yeses only changed 1%. I mean,
Yeah, but the no's went down by
So people
half.
didn't feel that they had to say no,
Yeah.
at least.
So we're looking at the no responses favorable, like no opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Or just laziness, or the survey's too long.
There were actually a couple of places that people kind of repeatedly didn't reply. Because I actually recorded some of the surveys and it was odd.
But that actually probably is a good thing, think about it.
Mhm.
So if it's like, it's not a negative, I guess.
Right.
So, it's good.
And the reasons why people don't use this library, hours, collection, those are the two, too busy to use the library at all.
There were a couple of questions that I think people misunderstood as well. Like how to tell us how you choose your own reading materials. And by that we were asking, like, you know, do you listen to your friends' recommendations? Do you read the New York Times bestseller list? What do you do? And we got some really unique answers to that, but it was obvious that's not what they were thinking.
Right.
We were asking.
Right, people wrote in mystery, like, I read mysteries, that's how I choose.
Yeah.
And then the three most important, well, I don't know, but very important questions. Describe how often you found what you're looking for, have you asked the library staff for help, and rate the assistance you received. Those were new to the new survey. We did not ask those questions in the first survey. So we don't have data to compare from that. But 5 years from now, we will. As I said, in the 2007 survey, we were really just trying to get to a very basic level as opposed to a super stellar, awesome level, which is now what our goal is in technical terms.
One of the things I found interesting was the people citing the collection up on the, one of the reasons that you are,
Page 6.
yeah, page.
What are reasons you visit other libraries? Is it-
Yeah, I think it's in the collection. I wonder if people don't understand that they have online access, they can get, so that might be a point
Right.
to focus on.
In 2007, they didn't. We were trying to prove that we needed it. We didn't join MVLC until
They could come
the
in
following
and
year.
literally ask a library person to, or, you know, give them a piece of paper and say, I want this book by
Yeah.
this author. And the staff did a great job of getting them, but without MVLC at the time, it was.
There was no
a
page
very
replaced
manual-
holds. There was no electronic replaced holds.
So they're still saying that that's one of the reasons, so maybe that's just an area of education to people?
Yeah, I mean, and also have it, you know, someone gets used to going to Ipswich or Newburyport or one of the bigger ones, and they just, you know, I mean, don't forget, we looked at data a couple months ago that showed that we were a destination for Amesbury, Boxford, West Newbury. By the way, if you hadn't heard, Boxford's closing. They were not able to remediate their mold situation.
Oh, okay.
So,
Did they give staff a sick? No, voted down for like the fourth time or
They've
something.
been trying for so many years to
Yeah.
do a library.
Yeah.
So what are they gonna
They're
do?
looking for a temporary location.
Raise the building?
I don't know.
That's an old building.
We dodged that bullet on Weathersfield Street.
Just.
Yeah,
Oh, the place was disgusting.
yeah.
Sorry.
I never went inside, but
Beautiful.
I've heard tell of
Yes.
squirrels and bats and.
The floor, that
Remember
red
seeing
shed
squirrels.
carpet had soaked several times,
Mhm.
and it was, anyways,
Yeah.
it's delaying things.
So anyway, we know in the consortial setting, people go wherever it's convenient for them for whatever reason. They like to come here to see Miss Anna, or our story time interferes with nap time, so they go elsewhere. I mean, that's the beauty of the system and the resource sharing that we all do.
Yeah, I mean, if I need a book for work, I will look at all the libraries, and if somebody else has it and we don't, I'll go get it.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to just drive over to Topsfield if you know it's on the shelf there, or whatever, yeah.
One thing I think you should be happy with is the hours, the reason people go to other libraries. We have nothing to compare about it, but I think we absolutely know, right now it says hours are more convenient, 19%, but I think that's significantly down, just from,
Just 7 on the,
oh, okay, it's not,
yeah, so.
yeah, the effect of changing that, driving that is, that's something from my first term that we've been constantly
Yeah.
trying to drive up the hours.
Right, right.
It's nice to actually see it.
I mean, I think 44, is a really good place to be, I think that's, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the consistent, the Monday through Thursday being 8 to 10 and
That's
not,
huge.
you know,
all over the map.
Yeah,
right? People
yeah.
used to complain about that. So anyway, that's just kudos to you, that's a long road to get to
yeah,
that.
it's a long-term goal, so, I mean, it's good to start achieving some goals, it's definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, any other comments on our survey comparison?
What do you plan on doing with the survey results? Or do you plan on publicizing them or sharing them?
Well, the long-range plan is on the website as a PDF. We also have, and I just gave one to George, these nice, remember we decided, this is last year's we bound ourselves in this little, but we've had Minuteman do these nice booklets for us. So I've still got a stack of these, to hand out.
I'd suggest if you maybe just take some of the highlights and made it one page and put it on the website. How are we doing? And give them some of the most significant things, and then we'll comment if they want to. I don't know if you have that in anyways, comment section, but I mean, how are we doing? And then people can actually look at that. Do we have the feature on our website where you can track who comes on, clicks, like a web click, I think it's called?
We use Google Analytics, but I don't really know how to use it that well.
Oh.
I mean, I go in and I pick up the site visits, but that's all I really do.
Okay.
I mean, the Google Analytics does a lot more.
Okay. No, I
Is there something specific here?
No, I was just wondering, when you can see how much traffic it gets. That's all.
That particular page.
Yeah.
So the town has it, because they tell us how many people have gone on to the Council on Aging to look at the newsletter.
Mhm.
With the library being on the website too, they can tell you how many people have hit.
But I think it would just be like the basic, yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. We'd have to create a new page and have people click on that page to count it separately. If it's just an announcement, it wouldn't be any different than anything else on the landing page, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just wondering if we had any space to add survey results or something.
Mhm.
I'll look at it, because it's,
Yeah, like the job description, you tell how many people opened that, the PDF that you have on the face page.
Probably.
So it would be something similar, where you would have, see how we can.
I've never tried to do that.
yeah, I don't want to sidetrack, I was just wondering if you have it.
Likes are you up to?
Not very many, 200. That workshop that I mentioned I went to, that was all about social media and managing your different profiles and whatever. She was all about metrics and analytics and tracking, which I didn't know about Facebook Insights, so that's good. I looked at that a little bit, but you know, tracking things like when you post at 10 o'clock, do you get more hits, more eyeballs than if you post at 4 o'clock, or if you post at like optimal times of day and days of the week for your postings. And I thought about it a little bit, and I thought, it's not worth my investment of time to really like
Get into that.
to get, you know, to up from 42% to 46%. I thought, eh.
I liked the garden club thank you on there.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice Boy Scout project for some technical-minded Eagle Scouts.
Sure, yeah.
Anyone out there?
Copier update. There's something left.
There's really nothing to update. I don't have another quote from Popular Connection. The one that's there is still working fine.
Okay. AV update.
Well, part of the delay with the AV upgrade was that, so we had the electrical done work. The electrical work was done 3 months ago. They also want something they call blocking, which, as I understand, is a piece of plywood in the wall to make the wall stronger. So I said, can you send me a picture of one? Can you tell me the dimensions it needs to be? Can you send me a photo of the mounting unit you're going to use? Can you tell me the dimensions of it? And like nothing, a wall. They're like, have you done the blocking yet? Have you described? And I'm like, have you described to me what the blocking is yet? And we went back and forth like that for several weeks. So then they said, oh, well, we can probably build it for you for the price of a piece of plywood and $45 labor. And I turned that over to Janet and Michelle, and I said, should I just let them do it since they're being so ornery about telling me what it is exactly they need? And they kind of both agreed that, like, yeah, that's small money in this project. You might as well. If it's going to be
small money and
easier,
it's a liability on them for it to work. So
yeah. And I asked, and I know George has some skills in this area, my final offer to them was to set up a meeting between this person who won't give me information, like maybe you need to come back here and tell our custodian and our handy trustees what you want.
I think it's for $45 and a piece of plywood.
Yeah,
real
but
typical
it's frustrating to me because we could have, you know, we
it
could have
be
had
done
it
practically.
a month ago if they had just offered this in the first place. So that's where we stand now. Hopefully sometime in January it happens. And we do probably need a day or two for the install where there's nothing in this room.
So you'll have to figure that out.
So I mean, if it's like scouts, we can move them to the children's program room. It depends, you know. I'd rather not disturb any users of the room if I can avoid it.
Should we have a grand opening when it's online?
Yes, absolutely.
It's kind of a meeting.
Show Frozen or whatever's like Mockingjay, I don't know, something. Definitely, I'm all over the movie clubs.
Yeah.
I'm using that equipment once we get it, absolutely.
Excellent.
They probably don't want plaster after they block it.
I imagine we're gonna paint, I think, yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to tear the wall apart to get into the beams stuff.
Right.
I think blocking is just putting the double 2x4s in, you know, like what you do around a window
Okay.
to increase the strength
The
of that.
strength of it.
It's to give the frame something to put into instead of, if it's just wallboard, it's to blocking. I've done that for hanging kayaks in my garage and put up a 2x4 across 4 studs.
Mhm.
And then I mounted the bracket onto the 2x4, that's the blocking.
So then each of those studs is holding
So
up
now
the
that
kayak.
that 2x4 that's bolted to the wall is bolted to 4 studs.
Yeah.
And that's all this blocking is. But I put the plywood up and they'll sink it into 3 or 4 studs.
And you don't have
So
to
you
get,
just think they're gonna do it on the outside of the wall?
It sounds like if they're doing it for a piece of plywood, yeah.
I think they're
And
gonna,
if
I got the
it's-
impression it was outside.
Yeah.
I think if they had described to us what it was, Richard would have attempted to do it in the wall, but maybe it's not even worth it, it's just gonna be behind the screen.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's
screen
just-
top.
it's
all
more
it's doing
support.
is it's giving them the option where they don't have to line up to the studs and
Yeah.
they can just put it up and make it
And
fit.
the studs are making, they're still
It's-
holding it up.
yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something about lag bolts involved.
Yeah, so that's,
So,
yeah, they want it, the lag bolts, they want, that's what's gotta go in to hold the weight, of the TV.
And I did, in the last email, I did reiterate, it needs to be secured to that wall. Like, it does not come off the wall. It will not fall off, it cannot be taken off, like, this room is unsupervised. We're not gonna leave a $3,000 TV where someone could, like, unsecure it from the wall. So, I'm pretty sure we specified that in the beginning, but I reminded them.
I would think that that would all go under installation anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So for now, we're just waiting to set a date for them to come in and do the rest?
Yes.
Excellent.
And I can make a note to nudge them again.
John, you asked to have overdue materials put on the agenda this month.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about it last month.
Yeah.
We just wanted to have a discussion. Do we,
Amy has had his second report run. I don't think anybody's had a chance to look at the analysis yet.
okay.
And part of that was because we decided that Michelle was gonna do the Excel. She should really do it here. She shouldn't take that information on a thumb drive because it's confidential patron information. So we asked her to come in and work on it here at Amy's desk.
And it was quite delayed because of somebody being sick out.
Yeah, the guy that does the reports was sick, and so,
So if we put it on-
what takes one email to someone who knows what they're doing takes like 6 emails to the guy who's doing his job while he's out on medical leave, so.
Well, the reason I was thinking about it for this time is that when we get to the first of the year, it'd be nice if we could have gone to the paper again and say, your New Year's resolution is to give the books back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Just use,
Yeah.
whatever it's at. But if we could put it on the agenda for the next time, and if Michelle's working on it.
I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication. I didn't know, I was like, Amy, whatever happened to that report? And she's like, we got that report. I'm like, oh, well, what happened to it? So I don't know if Michelle knew
Okay.
up until a couple of days ago that the report was run as well.
So we want to table the discussion for our next meeting.
Till January, yeah. All right. Pam had asked me to put technology upgrades on for new business.
Well, just because there was a capital bond at town meeting last year, several town departments are getting new computers. We were the last in the queue, but now they're ready for us, so we should have 4 new workstations coming very soon. We were kind of thinking we'd replace 4 staff workstations and then downcycle the staff ones to the public. But the staff ones were only replaced in 2012, and we have some in the public that date back to 2007. So I think we're gonna replace those, and then in the next fiscal year, if we get another, because what I put in the capital needs 5-year plan is 4 per year. We've got 28 computers. If we do 4 per year, then the oldest
Something
we'll
7
have is
years old.
7 years, which is still pushing it, but, the public machines, they don't do much, really. They don't, there's not a lot asked of them, so,
Do we still have a lot of Catholic ray tubes out there?
yes.
Because those are power hogs.
Yes. So the plan is, whatever fits in the budget, we will update maybe a printer or 2 and some monitors as well with them. With whatever our 4 workstations come out to, whatever's left, we'll do projects like that, monitors and printers.
Did we get the new wireless routers?
Yes. Yeah, it's a strong signal. I've checked it pretty much every day. Hasn't been a problem. Well, it was a problem because they did not disable the old one. So a lot of people were coming in and their machines, if they'd used it here before, went to the old one automatically. And we didn't know, so the old one went down, as it often did, and some staff person power cycled the old one, which is what we used to do to fix it, and it worked. And I was like, what? Well, that worked. And then I realized that there were 3 Wi-Fi networks, our old one, our new one, and our staff one.
All running at the same time.
So we've disabled the old one, and yeah.
5 miles of signal.
Yeah, the new one
Yeah.
picks up immediately as soon as you walk in the building.
Yeah, we walked all around the outside. It's a strong signal. Yeah, it's great.
You still have people parked down here on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Self-check statistics. Do we have any? or-
Michelle was
Okay.
working on that.
Michelle was gonna work on that, she said she'd send something, but I don't think she got to it, so.
I want to say something like 12%. So we looked at it actually 6 months from March, would have been, I think, last month. Again, I worked really hard to get a report from Central Site. I want to say like 12% of our circulations were on the self-check in that 6-month period. I could be remembering incorrectly. So the first time we looked at, time of day and day of the week, and we got this whole report of, I think by hour, by each day, which of our 4 workstations, plus our online renewals, what business was done on each machine. Because we figured Wednesday with story time and the kids, we thought we'd see a lot of self-check business on Wednesdays. So then the next set of reports we ran was what items by item type are checked out where. Again, kind of thinking kids like it, yeah. So that analysis has not yet been done. And I think I will put it in as part of the monthly reports that I get, but until we get that analysis, I'm not sure what's interesting. Is it just the pure numbers? Do we just want a straight up how many this month went out on self-check versus, it depends on what we're interested in gleaning, but it was good to take a look after the 6 months that we've had it.
My turn. Got it?
So if you can take that for next time, Janet, those 2 items.
Sorry about that.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, sorry.
Thanks for making it down.
I tried it. That's what I could. Again, must be almost done.
We're doing pretty good.
Let's hope, yeah. Moving right through.
Just finish,
Good to see you.
new business, so it's really just subcommittees now. I don't think we have anything from outreach going on in outreach right now, because you're not gonna squeeze in the.
Just
Brownie
probably
release,
release, yeah, no, I think it'd be crazy to try and
Okay.
plan that for December.
Nothing new for policy, building and grounds, I had 2 items, bollard lights and patron counters.
Yeah, I didn't do the wall lights, but I did do the patron couches. Put some material here. I've got a bunch, actually, and we can look at it and talk about it. 2, 3. And actually, you want to give me one of those back to share?
You can share,
Yeah.
or do you have a link?
No, I don't
Because I can pull it
have
up.
them. No, I don't have them on my screen. Printed, this last one I printed died. Color. So,
Library12 Imagine that. I know, I'm just thinking.
I'll make those 2 share one. So get 3 fingers there. All right, so you get every patron contract under the sun. And the prices vary from $289 for a low-end unit. Here. So $289 to a high of $1,600. $299. Again, I'm sorry, this is the way the site's really printed, and I was doing this while I was on a conference call, so, best I could get. So the first one that says library patron counters looks like this. So some of them similar, but it says, there's 2 in the bottom, featured product standalone, and racket counter, $299 or $589. Those are pretty much traditional. And the other one that looks very similar like that, in the middle it says $589. It's very similar again. This is an infrared. And another one on page 2. I circled it because it cut it off. It was $789, I believe. I wrote in there. says count recorder Wi-Fi. That one really didn't impress me much. And then the last one on the sheet that doesn't look like the rest of them, from TLS, the library store, go figure. And this has got ones that kind of span. If you look at the little wireless non-directional people counter, that's the one I thought was pretty nice. And that one is 505.
And what were you looking for as you were sort of
There's just thousands out there. I just tried to winnow it down to just some of the discussions that we've had. Do we want it to, there's one on here that's Wi-Fi for $1,000. What kind of budget are we looking for to spend on these things?
Well, don't forget, we need two of them,
Right, so it's
because we
double.
have two
what we're looking at.
entrances, yeah.
But my thoughts as I was looking through this was that this is one piece of equipment not to cheap out on, for the reason being that the more accurate this is, the more we can go to town and say, listen, you know, this is, you know, who's engaging the library. This is the volume that's coming through here. This is probably one of the most critical things that we can make sure we get right.
Right.
So, and I know we've had kids going up and playing with the mechanical counters.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people can't mess with them,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why myself, I like the wireless. The one that's right here, the non-directional people counter. It's wireless. It uses an infrared across, and it can go to the. I think this is the one that go to.
You must keep going like this here all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, what they do now is they hit the reset button. They zero it out. So we've had a crazy busy morning, someone zeroes it out. Yeah.
Did you,
Downside, this one uses the battery.
it says it has a 2-year life.
And I would imagine it would give you a message that the battery's low.
Yeah, it could be, you know, or like a CO2 detector that would just flash. I'm sure that's so.
Did you have enough time to look at these to make a recommendation, John? Or?
Well, no, I wanted, because they go from $300 to $1,600, if we want to talk about some kind of a budget first, and some of the features, do we want it hardwired, or battery, or does it matter?
Well, right now, there is an outlet. Right now, it's a plug-in style, like an AC outlet.
So we have an AC outlet?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
that's,
that's a possibility.
yeah. I think that's better, I would think, you know, oh, absolutely, you know, it's really better. Backup, but not required, but AC, okay. And then, I think the non-directional, from what I've read, is good, so it means it doesn't matter if it's in or it's just someone breaking that beam, you get that count. So, that's a good feature. And then, do you want it, Wi-Fi capability, meaning it can transmit to an account, and you're just gonna go in and look at the stats and reset it? You're not gonna go to the device, you can do everything from your desktop.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Fine with that.
Okay. So,
But it's not a burden now to have to record it from the device, so long as people can't tamper with it, so long as only the staff can reset, et cetera.
well, mechanical ones will be open to that,
Right,
so that's why I'm thinking.
yeah, so that's what we're trying to get away
Have a
from.
wireless thing right to your
Yeah.
computer, and then you
Yeah,
can
I'm sure you can
track
do-
it,
Give
you
you
can line it up, you
statistics.
can see
You
it.
can do a lot more analysis,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can see if there's an
exactly.
aberration or something.
Mhm.
So I'll get one that's wireless and desktop. So like I said, I did, you know, collected the ones I thought were best of breed, if you will, kind of really go to work, get the best of breed. And now, budget-wise, how much, do you have any idea what the originals cost?
I think they're maybe 250, 300.
Yeah.
They were from Demco. Jenna could probably find them on Demco's website.
Doesn't matter, just, well, what appetite do we have to spend now? Whether we're gonna come back with what I think the right one is and say it's $800 or 300, whatever. Just come back with a recommendation.
I would come back with a recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gonna have a little downtime in the last 2 weeks of the year. Clients all on vacation. After Tuesday, they said don't come here again until January 5th.
That's
So-
it.
Yeah, well, we're still working, but we don't have to work on site.
Mhm.
I should have a little bit of time to catch up on some of my extracurricular.
Fantastic, thank you
Activities.
for doing this.
And as for the ball and lights, I know we discussed it last week, last month, seems like a week ago. And I don't know, did you get any kind of feedback about the lights that, because I looked at the back parking lot, they look very similar to the ones that are out front. I mean, so I mean, why not just be consistent and put the same kind of lights there?
I don't know, someone suggested maybe it was to be courteous to the neighbors, to keep them low. I don't know. Yeah,
That's all.
I was gonna say, I know, I think it was just, I don't.
From
it
my
wasn't done really,
recollection,
yeah.
it was the architects wanted to have the front of the building not have those.
I absolutely see that, yeah, like, because there's a lot, you know, when you go to the street and take a picture of the building, yeah, you don't want
Yeah,
stuff in there.
yeah, and as I thought, you know, because of time, like, oh, that's why we put the streetlights up.
Yeah,
But the ones that are there just don't, you know, we've outlived their usefulness and we've seen that they don't really function well here in the Northeast.
right. So I submitted the fiscal 16 capital needs request. I included, I think, 6,000 to replace them. I haven't been summoned to a meeting yet to find out whether that will be on the town meeting warrant. So I think we discussed the options are have the electrician do what he can to repair them,
Yeah.
have the electrician replace them with a duplicate item, or have the electrician suggest something new but similar. And that's kind of,
We did also talk about duplicating the ones on the common, right?
But I think
yeah, but I think it'll ruin your sightlines of the building.
it's mostly an aesthetic, it's not
Yeah.
functional, it's just aesthetically, it looks great from the street.
Yeah,
And putting streetlights there, some people like the look, you know, I
Yeah.
think it'd be.
and I can't tell you how many times I've needed a picture for a website or something, I mean, yeah, like,
I just like
I'd
the
like to
idea of
see
the
the
sidewalk
sightlines
actually
clean.
being lit in the winter, especially in the winter.
The spot, I mean, yeah. I put 500-watt halogens under the eaves of my house, first house I built, 1,000 watts of light for the backyard. So when we wanted to do anything, but somehow, having it look like a compound might not work either.
No, that may iron the neighbors a little bit.
So do you want to, you know, I'll look up, while I'm looking up the Patriot counters, I can look up different lighting solutions, but,
I mean, we want basically a similar size and shape.
so can you ask the electrician what he can recommend?
Yeah, and I haven't really, like I said, he offered to replace them with what's there, or to try one more time to fix them.
So let's have them
And
fixed
I
at least.
I haven't really responded, because I thought we'd wait for town meeting.
But if we can fix them for whatever, until they get, you know, until we replace them, with the idea that we're gonna fix them, you know.
I can have him, ask him to take another look if there's
Maybe some
a
of
more
those
day.
We tried to fix before and they kept breaking.
Oh, yeah, we've
Yeah.
tried to fix them
We fixed
3
them
or
a
4
number of
times.
times already.
We want to try to fix them, and eventually we're going to have snow on the ground anyway.
Okay, just leave it as is.
It's been 2 on and 2 out for easily 3 years.
All right, so let me,
What would the past repairs have been to fix? that?
Just the labor. Well, we had to buy a globe because it cracked. We got water and ice and cracked. But aside from that part, I think it's just been the electrician's labor.
I think it's one of those things that probably, you know, if it's not too bad to fix them. It's still early in the year, we don't know how much snow and stuff we're gonna get, and maybe he puts on the right seal and the new ones last. Because who knows when we're gonna get if we replace them, you know what I mean, how long that's gonna be out, since it has to go to town meeting. So I guess I'd be more, if it's a reasonable cost to fix the ones that are out at this point, until we know how much money, if any, to replace them. I don't know.
There's
What do other
one,
people think?
No, that's an idea, I'd suggest that, fix it until we can find out which direction we want to go in, and, you know, what we can find to replace it, that'd be better for them. it's cheaper to fix it, get by for a little while.
Yeah, knowing that we're throwing good money after that,
Right.
but still, we'll have the light there for as long as they last. And but we'll look up and then see if the town will pay for us to get something different. I'll look up some.
There's one in the back that could use some attention as well, the one on the building there.
Oh, no, it's Park Country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So the action item is for Pam to ask the electrician what they recommend to replace versus, replace with
We've
similar
kind of
versus
already
replace with
talked, yeah,
better.
we've kind of already talked about that with him. He said, this is what it costs to replace them with what's there, or I can try one more time to fix them. That was his last offer.
What's the cost to replace?
I think they were $860 something each,
Is it something we have in the budget, or it's, we have to get,
depends on this HVAC.
oh,
I have a feeling that the repair is gonna wipe out repairs and maintenance for the year,
Any other options, because Pam has put in a request for town meeting,
but that would,
but
yeah.
that will depend on.
it's not a
Yeah.
crisis, so let's just keep plugging along at it.
Mhm.
Why is it so hard to fix them again?
The water gets in.
Just the water? Yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, try it
So
again.
maybe they just weren't installed with a good seal or
For design.
poor
Poor
design,
design.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
they've been resealed a couple
the-
times.
The conduits go underground.
Right, I pulled a tendon and tore it. He said, well, that tendon goes up underneath and goes through the shoulder. He says, and it's just poor design. It's not manufacturing.
So do we have an action item associated with the bollard lights?
We'll try to fix them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll contact the electrician to fix them one more time. Has he fixed them in the back?
No. No, it's challenging with the ones in the back because sometimes it's just a bulb issue. Sometimes they'll be out for a couple of days, then they'll be back on. So I never quite know when it's worth calling the electrician.
That one on the end has been out for
That one's been out
years.
for a while, yeah, he just hasn't been on in
Yeah.
years, yeah. Yeah.
So the only other real thing we have on here is the report from the Friends meeting, which I missed again.
I went, let's see. We talked about the programs that they sponsor, the Delvina. They weren't that disappointed with the Delvina only getting a small turnout. I mean, Tim Young, the president, is a performer, and he said, I've performed for 2 people before, so, you know, a crowd of 12 is not that bad. Janet, I think he emailed you. He wants both himself and you and me to speak a little bit at the staff appreciation luncheon. I think they're going to have Scott Willett back in the spring. If you remember him, he's a classical guitarist who lives in town, who performed here. They're also reaching out to the jazz band again at Triton. Hopefully we can.
That was always fun.
We had them several years running in the spring, and then we had a couple years of bad weather, and it just kind of so.
When's the staff appreciation luncheon?
January 10th at the Bradford Tavern at 2 o'clock. And if non-staff meeting trustees and friends want to go, they just are asking you to pay for your own meal. But they're treating the staff and the volunteers, I should say, which is very generous. They talked about doing a year-end appeal, which I think they will do by email with the email list that we have. They decided not to go to a quarterly meeting schedule. They're going to try bi-monthly and see how that goes. So the next meeting is the second Tuesday in February. They bounced around an idea of changing the chili cook-off a little bit, maybe doing it more Texas style. Do you know what that is, Janet? Where people actually cook rather than bring the product to be judged. It's more like an all-afternoon kind of thing. I don't know.
Sounds like Food Network.
Yeah.
What are we going to cook on? Where are we going to hold this?
Yeah. I think
That's a
our
very
chili
good
needs to
question.
Simmer for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, chili is, you should
Yeah.
make it the day before and
Right.
reheat
The
it.
people who
It takes
enter
4
these
days to
things
cook
bring
one
like their trucks or whatever. They're like,
Yeah, I need to try
Yeah.
some had 4-day chili.
yeah, okay, well, I don't know about that. That was pretty much it from the Friends meeting.
I have the email from Tim about the luncheon. Presently, the cost is about $25 a person, excluding wine or tip. And the options is a spinach salad, and then it's chicken piccata or roast top sirloin.
I think it's both, I think it's a buffet.
And, sorry, you're right, it's green beans, almondine, roasted red bliss potatoes, dessert, coffee, tea.
So it would seem that we, number one, need to RSVP in advance, so
Yes,
Bradford
that's-
Tavern knows we're coming.
Yeah.
And then,
It's a buffet, so they
Right.
actually go, but.
Yeah, so I'm collecting RSVPs from the staff.
Okay, so I can
So
ask
what
Tim,
I can-
this
I
is a
can add
final
you guys.
price.
okay, so
that's-
I'll put an action item that we all need to send you an RSVP, one way or the other, to
Mhm.
the, okay.
And maybe Maggie, if you could send that to the trustees' email so that the two that are not here.
Mhm.
Should-
Pam, how,
Shall I check?
what date would you need that RSVP by?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would think like a week's notice would be enough.
Okay.
We do have this, it's old business, I don't know if it's specifically on the agenda, but the sprinkler testing,
Was it done?
it was not done because we have these two quotes and I haven't accepted either of them.
That was a building and grounds action item, wasn't it?
Yes. But I don't know that they were actually directed to do that.
I thought they were on one of the action items.
Yes, make recommendation on which sprinkler bid to accept. And I think the reason it got sent to Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee is just, it's easier to make these decisions with 3 people than with 9 people's opinions.
Unfortunately, most of them pertain to building and grounds.
So, I mean, I don't think it's really worth having a separate meeting just to
Hash them over.
debate that.
How different are the quotes?
So the quote from New England Fire Sprinkler Protection is $2,800.
Yeah.
The one from E. Batcher, I think it's called, Plumbing, Heating, and Fire Protection, excuse me, is $1,470. But I also got quotes for the annual inspection, thinking that, you know, now we're gonna go with this vendor and not our old vendor. And the one that's more expensive for the testing is half the cost for the annual inspections. So if we go with them, we save money going forward on that. But it's more for this testing. And then I was gonna ask Josh, I mean, both of these referrals came from you, Joshua. Was there any sense from where you got them of one being better than the other, or do you recall it was a while ago?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, is it Ted?
Ted was the first person I spoke to, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the person who I got the information from, they recommended them.
Mhm.
Good works.
Yeah. I will say too, Ted was more responsive than Kevin, the other guy, like, call me back that day. Kevin, I waited a week, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, go with responsive.
I did the same, they're doing the same thing with, they swapping out 4 of the,
Yes, yeah,
4 of the things, blowing the air through them.
yeah. And did we decide how to fund, oh yeah, this went to fall town meeting. So we have funding from the town for fall town meeting.
To carry this out.
Mhm.
So do you need a vote to get it done? You just make this like, pick it and do it.
Okay, I'll do that.
So, do we have to make a motion to authorize Pam to make the call and book the work?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think so.
Okay, no.
No, we're already, yeah.
Okay.
Bring it out.
Our next meeting is scheduled, I believe, for January 20th.
Is that gonna be the day after Martin Luther King Day?
This is-
And that reminds me that next week is a short week and it's a payroll week. So
Working from home.
Monday,
as well.
Tuesday, I'm gonna need signatures.
Send the note out, make it, it's easier to get down, around.
All right.
I should be around.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Cool.
thanks.
January 20th, next meeting.
January 20th is the next meeting.
I make-
Circulate action items.
Would you like to review them now?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a record.
Okay. Thank you, John. Happy
Sorry I
holidays.
was late.
I love the town.
Pam, you're going to let us know a graceful way for the trustees to pay our own way for the staff appreciation lunch on January 10th. Maybe, do you want to email me with that, and then when I send out the email to the trustees, I'll have that information on it.
Thanks, John.
Good job there.
Janet, you're going to add the overdue materials to the January agenda.
Also, the technology upgrades and self-check statistics.
Okay. Technology, upgrades, and overdue.
Self-check. Overdue is what you said first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
John Manning will come back with a recommendation on the
Patron count.
patron count.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Pam is going to ask the electrician to fix the bollard lights one more time. We're all going to RSVP to Pam if we plan to attend the staff appreciation lunch. What do you like?
Which has been really, really fun in the past.
I really
Those
enjoyed
of
it.
you who come, it's-
Last year was here.
Yeah, this year, yeah.
We've always kind of self-catered it
Yeah.
ourselves.
Kind of a mix of like potluck appetizers and then a catered entree.
Last year was awesome.
Yeah, friends have graciously offered to host it this year, so.
Can I make a motion to adjourn at 8:49 p.m.?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. And let's see. We have no guests, and our new trustee doesn't qualify as new anymore. We can look at those minutes. Was the pergola fixed?
Yes.
I thought so. And walked by it.
Okay, absent Michelle Ford, Mark Berenger, John Manning, and Jacob Gold.
That's, yeah.
That's
Hopefully Mark is just late.
yeah, he mentioned he might be around.
Yeah. Under overdue materials at the bottom of page 1, it's just a tense thing. It says Janet tables, it should be tabled. And also under the Tenny grant, it's the street listings with the telephone books.
Okay.
And the third bullet under Tenny grant, you just have the wrong no.
Okay.
I think I noticed that.
was wondering if forward lights should be capitalized.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it just describes the shape of them.
Yeah, it's the style.
I don't know if we have to update the action items or not, but the first spelling of administrative has an extra I in it. Which I only noticed because my word is underlining.
Okay, I'm sorry, where was that?
Under the action items, the very first word under category.
Oh, for action items?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you need to update those or not,
Okay.
but
Well, are they helpful? I was wondering if they should be part of the notes, just like as I go and make them.
oh no, they're great to have as part of the notes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I used to try to keep them at the bottom of the agenda as we went, but
Mhm.
it gets a little bit cumbersome too, so it's excellent that they're on there. All right. Does anybody have any other changes? Would somebody like to make a motion to accept them as amended?
So made.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, excellent. Director's report, Pam sent it around. Does anyone need a copy? Pam, I forgot to tell you there were only 3 people that emailed you this week.
Thank you for telling me.
It was
I have a note right here to ask you.
dark and stormy night.
Yes. Okay, so circulation is up month over month, 6.77% for November, and page counts are at 4.42% on the month over month. Everything else, as we are 5 months into the fiscal year, so almost halfway, looks pretty much on track. The songs downloaded, Free Go continues to be very popular. Clearly, there's a lot more this year than last year. Other than that, nothing really notable in the stats. Of course, we expect, as always happens after the holiday gift-giving season, the demand for ebooks goes sky high as everybody gets those devices and wants to play with them. Programs, we were kind of disappointed with the attendance at the Christmas Carol by the Delina Theater Company. There was so much going on that Saturday. Every single church had a craft fair. Pine Grove's craft fair was that day.
I was out of town.
I was also out of town. Joan Lyons was out of town. Yeah, it just,
Yeah, we had wanted to attend, it just didn't work out.
the stars were not aligned for that. So we'll try them again in a less busy time of year. And he said they were excellent. The basket raffle drawing was Saturday, as you all know. We said earlier it made $1,300 for the Friends, which was very successful. And my favorite part about a basket raffle is how everybody just wants to be part of it. Like community organizations, local businesses, individuals, they just get so excited about it. In fact, our book club has promised one for next year.
Yeah, I'll definitely do
So,
that this year.
I
It's
heard
really-
one of the individuals was already planning next year's.
Yeah, and it was nice that several of our donors won baskets. Yeah, it's so great to see so much of the community come out and get involved with that.
What was the most popular, well, no, never mind, I won't ask what the most popular basket
It was Institution for Savings.
was. Ah.
It was
Was it
very
the gift
big
card
and
tree?
fancy.
What's that?
A gift card tree?
That was not technically a basket.
Yeah.
Those two are pretty much tied.
Ah.
Yeah.
Apologies for me, she's at work.
And then immediately after that, we did a quick change in this room and had the kissing ball craft, which went over stupendously. It was fantastic. It was the first time we'd ever really done like a hands-on workshop, make something for adults, and it went great. As you know, the Friends elected to pass on a little bit of the materials fee. Country Gardens charged us $15, we charged the patrons $10 and subsidized the rest of it. But that was to get people to show up, and also those kissing balls, cost from $30 to $50. So it was still a bargain, and everybody had a great time. They all looked
They look beautiful.
super, yeah, it was a huge success. I would have them back again to do flower arranging, to do anything. They were great. It was recorded for Raleigh Community Media, so look for that. I'm sure it's not edited yet, but, and then we have the upcoming authors panel on January 29th. And then planning is afoot for the Raleigh Reads, which will take place in March. I didn't know if we should try to, it's probably too busy to meet in December, but maybe we'll do a little email update of action items.
I know I have a vacation coming up, and I know I have lots of things to take care of.
Yeah, we had kind of divvied up some research to do as far as movies to show, experts to come in and talk. Of course, we want Kevin McCormack and his sea shanties. Just for John.
Thank you.
So that's in the works. And we have made an unofficial offer for our library technician position. The Corey and Story have not come back yet, so until that happens, it's not official, but our most favorite candidate was Kristen Brooks of Byfield. She worked most recently in Ipswich. She has like an environmental science degree, and she was on the Open Space Planning Commission, whatever that is. But now just wants to do a couple part-time things and spend more time with her family. And she has library experience from before that job, from when she lived in Colorado. So we're excited to welcome her on board. Again, pending the court. And we are thrilled that the Friends of the Library are having our staff appreciation luncheon at the Bradford Tavern. This should be lovely. I don't know if you, probably you haven't seen the menu. I've seen the menu. It's nice hot buffet options. And the compromise of, including trustees was that they should pay their own tab.
Well, I was wondering, what's the graceful way to do that? Bring cash, then give it to one of the trustees, or you giving the cash to the
I'm not
Bradford
sure.
Tavern? Checks in advance? I mean, what's
Yeah,
the-
I'll ask
check
him
the
about
table.
that.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
What's the date again?
January 10th at 2 p.m. Yeah, that was kind of awkward with Country Garden, actually. I sort of handed her an envelope full of cash and a couple of checks. She didn't care. And if you notice the holiday wreaths out front here on our 4 windows, those are anonymously donated, made by Country Gardens. And actually, after the craft, they left us the sample kissing ball they had brought in, so that is really nice. And then the rest of the plants around the library are donated by the Garden Club. They've done that for several years.
And they're very nice too.
They're very nice. There's some boxwood. Did you go to the children's room? There's some kind of fanciful, they're not even plants. They're like these little sculpture things, but they're neat. And then we also received a donation from Thoughtful Life Studies, which is a group that's been using our meeting room for lectures.
Any questions on the director's report? Okay, second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Right.
No one opposed. All right, excellent, thank you. Budget.
I don't know if this is related to the budget or to buildings and grounds, but we've had the HVAC people here the past 2 days. The building has 5 zones. The zone that is our technical services area, circulation, and also this lobby was intermittently not working. It would blow cold, and we would turn the whole system off to get it to stop blowing cold, and then wait a day or so and turn it back on, and be fine for a couple days, and then it would happen again. And this has been ongoing since the end of heat season last year. It happened once in May. And then as soon as heat season started up again this year, it's happened maybe 4 times that we were just like, oh, this is weird. And then we finally called them in, and it was like, well, waiting for a day that it wasn't a nor'easter, that it wasn't working, that they had a man to come down right away and look at it, a technician. the confluence of those things took a little while. So there was like another 6 or 7 instances of no heat in that corner of the building until yesterday when they did have someone available to come down. So yesterday they swapped out one of the thermostats and thought that fixed it, but then as soon as he left, it stopped working again. It wasn't working again this morning, and we called them. So now they've swapped out the thermostat and the control, but they also think there's a problem with the gas pressure. So that when if the 4 units are all going at the same time, by the time you get to the 4th one, it like cancels out, or something like that.
So now we have to bring in the gas company?
I think when they're going to replace, so anyway, I had them take the thermostat out of the local history room, because that's the one that you can run in and get your stuff and come out again. Like, you know, all the other parts of the building, we need the thermostat to function. So when they replace the thermostat permanently, I think they were going to do some other testing.
Now, does not having heat in the local history room put at risk any of the materials?
If anything, it's good for the books to be cooler.
Okay.
That's why it's on its own zone.
It's always very cool in there.
Is there any, are these units integrated at all, or do you have to go to each one to do what you want to do?
Go to each one, yeah.
Would it be worth, I mean, these are as old as the building, would it be worth upgrading those to something from this century, where you can control it from your laptop, your desktop?
I don't know if something like that's available. I know it's,
Oh, yeah.
it's a
And that's-
commercial system. You have to get something compatible with Linux. I mean, this is just what the HVAC people are telling me. I don't know.
Yeah, like the Nest things, and there's other.
I don't know.
most
I
popular.
mean, yeah, I don't know.
Any desire to do something like that, or going around doing it, working for you?
Well, just replacing that, they're $600 a piece. So they're looking into maybe a not commercial, but still will work with Linux. And we also need a 7-day cycle. We can't do, like a lot of them are 5 and 2, figuring your 5 weekdays are all the same and your 2 weekends are all the same, but we need a 7-day cycle being closed on Friday and Sunday. So with those limitations, I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to ask him about, and the only reason I said a Nest is because that's the one I'm most familiar with, but I'm in a commercial building now with 300 people, and they use those. In every room, they have them, and they can control it from one guy's desktop. So if there's no one meeting in an area, and you can do it all right from a web interface. So Nest or, online, like, and I think those units are around $250 a pop.
We have something, but I don't know what it is. It can be controlled centrally, but I don't know what it is.
Trying to talk my wife into it too, but.
I've
been successful.
No.
But I mean,
I only wonder, like, how long has Nest been around? How long will they be around? Are they pretty established by now?
They're probably the market leader, I guess is the best way to put it.
First out of the gate, kind of.
No, the ones that's hit the market. There's a bunch of others, like there's a Microsoft version, there's a couple of other open source versions, but that's the one that is just eating the market alive right now. It's like Apple. They just that is the one to use. And like I said, the company I'm working at right now is pretty stodgy, and they actually put those in. I was talking to the facilities guy, they save quite a bit. So depends.
I'll ask.
Just find out what they cost, and then we can do a return.
Mm-hmm.
To half the price of a $600 unit. And, what the benefits are, what kind of savings we can get, because
Yeah.
you can.
But would that solve the problem of the gas pressure?
No, that's completely unrelated. That's mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you have to call the gas company.
And I asked if I should do that, and that's when they said they're gonna bring like a metrometer or something when they come back.
Flow meter.
Something, yeah.
Who's bringing the flow meter?
Morris Heating and Air is the company we contract with for the HVAC service.
Sorry, what was it called again? The pressure meter?
Gas pressure meter.
So, whatever's left in our repairs and maintenance line will probably soon be very, very gone. And I guess, when we see what that comes in at, we can decide if we want to go to the finance committee for a reserve fund transfer, or kind of wait till to see what the rest of the fiscal year brings.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah. The cushion that we usually have in our gas line and our electric line are probably not gonna be, I say cushion, I mean, it's not that, but typically we end up with a small surplus in the two utilities lines, which I doubt we will this year, at least not in the electric, because we're,
The rates.
yeah.
But it's not in any danger of like a burst, we're not looking at like a burst pipe situation if it's very cold.
I don't think so, because there are 3 other zones that are functioning. We can always bump those up a little bit. And it's not, you know, it's 35, 40 every day, and not much, you know, until it gets to like,
So, given the time of year, do you think that we need to make a motion to put some money into this now so that you have the ability to react to a situation, or you'll bring back a quote next month?
yeah, there's $2,400 in repairs and maintenance, and that's just for things that come up. I mean, we know there are certain things that will
So that's
come
not
up.
something
Yeah.
like we had to do anything at this meeting to say, yeah, take care of it as you need to.
I don't think so. I mean, we want to fix the heat, whatever it takes.
Heat is good.
I'll vote for heat.
Yeah,
And we have them with you so far.
yeah. Yeah, but it's, like I said, there've been several times when we shut the whole system off in that zone, and it was fine. I mean, it never got below, I mean, overnight, I would imagine it got down in the 50s, but it stayed, you know, hovered around 60, 62, something like that, which isn't comfortable, but it's not like anything's gonna freeze.
Any questions on the budget?
Just a point of reference, do I need to reference this in the minutes, or you consider it covered in the budget report?
I think it's.
I would record it in the, yeah,
How much you need from.
yeah, because I'm just letting you know that there will be an impact on the budget very soon, yeah.
And just to step back for a second, you were asking about the Nest company. Google just bought them for $3.2 billion.
Okay, so they're here for now.
And the
They're here for a
guy
while.
the guy that founded it led Apple's iPod division. So that's what I'm saying, it is, and they're $250 a pop.
So, I mean, if it's compatible, I have no idea. I mean, I was kind of told that we were limited by what Lennox makes. I don't know.
Can I make a motion to accept the budget report?
Motion to accept the budget report?
Yes.
Second?
Bad news.
Oh, she made the motion, oh, sorry, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
Long day.
All right.
Just to go back, did you want to verify, close the meeting minutes last?
Do you remember if you happened to motion to accept the October meeting minutes last month?
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
Someone whose name began with David. There's an awful lot of us. All right. Moving on to old business.
Yeah, did you want to look at the,
Oh, as part of your report, yes.
part of my
sorry.
report is the analysis of the 2 surveys, and I do have a couple of hard copies if anyone needs them. Can I take a look?
Anybody over there need it?
So we said as part of the long-range plan, we were going to go back and compare our 2007 results with our 2015 results of the patron survey. You know, some of the questions are interesting but not that informative, like what describes your age and how frequently do you visit the Raleigh Public Library. It's interesting to see the differences in, for example, how do you usually hear about the Raleigh Public Library offerings. You know, 2007, 8% said the library website 6% said email. And how would you prefer to learn about Raleigh Public Library offerings? 32% say website, 15% say Facebook, which I don't think was even around